You're listening to KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc96.9.org. This is the Anything Can Happen show with Kenya Asa, Kwezi Dreams, and your man Cat Fitness.
Yes.
Yep. This episode, y'all might want to sit down and like get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a wholesome episode. It's gonna be something that episode 50. Woo, we on episode. We hit a milestone today, y'all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, that's
Well,
true.
Just real quick, since it's episode 50, this episode is brought to you by Cat Fitness Rejuvenate,
What?
where you can get the 92 minerals that your body
We
needs
got
on the daily.
sponsors now?
Man, just
Okay.
rejuvenate in the building today.
Rejuvenate the
So
building
I
today.
want to know, is it gonna make me feel rejuvenated?
Well, I think that's why we call it
What kind of
rejuvenate.
Is that,
You know,
is that okay? Because
I
I didn't
think
know
it's
if
in
it
the
was
name.
just. I mean, lots of things are in a name.
yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
healthy choice, or I mean, I'm not trying to shout out any companies.
Yeah,
or
why
anything.
we
But
talking about
sometimes-
rejuvenate
I know, but
today?
I'm saying, but some things will tell you something. You know how
Uh-huh.
this world is.
Oh, okay.
It'll
okay.
say, it'll claim,
It'll claim.
but it will not deliver.
Ooh, this
So-
delivers.
Okay, so it delivers.
It
That's all I
delivers.
really need to know.
It gives you the
Okay.
92 minerals out of the 102 minerals that your body needs
Wow.
on a daily
Mm.
basis.
That's a lot of minerals.
It is. It
Sure
refuels
is.
the body. It rejuvenates you.
Okay.
All right. So before we introduce our guest, Miss Kenya,
Yeah.
you have a cup of the new flavor, Elderberry Blast, in front of you.
Elderberry Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know, Mr. Fitness,
Uh-huh.
why did you choose elderberry for this flavor
Oh.
for this month? Why?
Because it has so many health components. You know,
Mhm.
elderberry boosts the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people are fighting colds, they're fighting flus, they want to make sure they get the vitamins and the minerals that the body needs. And elderberry is one of the superfoods that provides that to the community. And we're getting around that time
Yeah.
where people start to get the sniffles.
Absolutely. And I do have to say,
So let's protect
elderberry is
ourselves.
amazing. Yeah,
Let's be
elderberry is
proactive
amazing.
instead of reactive.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yes,
did I hit him with
say
a jewel?
it. You did.
Come on.
You hit them all upside the head. Okay.
Man.
Yeah. So I can't. Am I allowed to taste this yet? Because I haven't had.
I mean, Brother
any
Kwezi
breakfast or
said
anything.
we're going to take it all at once. Brother
Yeah,
Kwezi, we're going to
absolutely.
all
That's
go in.
Real
Let's-
time.
Real
Okay.
time? Okay, let's all take our shot of the Rejuvenate Elderberry Blast.
Are we going
Sea
Elderberry
moss dip.
Blast.
2?
3, 1. Ooh, let's get
Yeah.
some.
Bye.
Oh, come on now.
Mm,
That's delicious.
mm.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
Mm. There's no apples in it.
That's the tagline.
So what I can
Tastes
say
like applesauce.
is
Mhm.
I can taste the ginger.
You can taste the ginger.
I can taste the ginger.
Are you a fan of ginger?
I love it. I just
Okay.
I just juiced yesterday, and
Okay.
I added a huge
Juicing is great for
chunk.
detoxing
Yeah.
the body.
Oh
And
yeah,
ginger is also
this is absolutely delicious. I am
Is it?
not even like I'm tripping because I'm a big fan of this. I'm on my my second jar of Rejuvenate, and I didn't think I was gonna like anything more than last month's flavor,
mhm.
but this might be my favorite. It's also really
Might
really
be.
smooth. It's a little smoother.
It's a little smoother.
Yeah.
We can make it a little bit thicker if you need it thicker.
Oh no, I like all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us who we have in the building today?
Mm.
Uh-oh. You got a mouthful?
I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do have a mouthful. Kwezi, can you please
Oh, yeah.
do it for me?
Absolutely. Well, we
Uh-huh.
got Baby Bean Pie in the building today.
Uh-oh.
Shout out to
Baby Bean Pie!
Come on.
I feel like we need like a cowbell.
Let's get
and
a-
some streamers.
Ding, 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 ding.
Really-
Pew, 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 pew.
But very grateful. We actually, this has been a long time coming. If you have heard of Baby Bean Pie, you've definitely heard of bean pies, but you might have never heard of a vegan bean pie.
Ooh,
And
that's
that's
right up my alley.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. That's a
That's right
market
up my
that-
alley.
Well, wouldn't a bean? Well, maybe not. I've never made a bean pie.
Oh no, it's
But
not.
I was saying- it's not. Okay.
Surprisingly. I was
Is it?
surprised about that
Okay.
too. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprised by that too.
So speaking of
yeah,
which, I mean,
don't know.
we got our guests in the studio,
Yes.
the connoisseurs, the masters, the experts, right? What is in a bean pie?
So in a bean pie, the base of it is the navy bean, the small navy bean. If somebody puts any other type of bean in it, it's not a good bean pie. Stay away from it. But it definitely starts with the navy bean. That's the base of it, and then the traditional baked good items. So some butter, a little bit of brown sugar.
There you go.
You do have some dairy and some eggs in it also.
Okay, and that's in the non-vegan version, of course. Like the
Mhm,
standard
yes.
version.
Good.
And then you can't forget the spices. I won't list them all because that's a part of our secret.
Mhm.
But just some warm spices like your cinnamon. Maybe you might have a little bit of nutmeg, things like that. Warming spices.
Oh man.
I say. What are you gonna say, Kat?
Nice.
Now, I was gonna say, can you introduce our guests? You
Oh,
introduce their
absolutely.
company,
Absolutely.
but we gotta
let
let our viewers know who's in the building.
Of course. No, that's fair. So we got Carlton and Zakia here in the studio today. I know we usually do a bio. We can't get into the bio, but I mean the bio's sitting right here next to us. So I'd much rather hear from our guests
Right.
and take that intentional time. But Carlton and his amazing wife Zakia, and they're here from Baby Bean Pie. But let's start with this. How y'all doing today? Let's start with that.
How did you enjoy the sea moss? First of all, y'all took a shot at the
also
sea moss.
that.
That was really good.
Yeah, y'all
Really
liked
good.
it?
And sea moss is good.
Yeah. Do y'all normally take sea moss?
We were.
Okay.
We really were.
What did you do? The gel, the powder, capsules? How
I
did
did
you?
the gel, and it wasn't as good.
Okay.
As
No,
yours.
yeah, it wasn't as smooth.
It
It had
wasn't.
a thicker consistency,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't like even the thickness. Like it was kind of clumpy.
Mm.
So we would mix it in other things. Like,
Yeah.
but
This one you could just eat
Yeah,
straight,
you would just eat that.
kind of like your bean pie.
Yeah,
You can just take
yeah,
it right. You just
yeah.
nice and smooth.
Take it to the head.
That's powerful.
See, I had to ask the connoisseurs, the chefs in the building, how they like the rejuvenate. You know,
Absolutely.
see if it met their standards.
Yeah, it's the ginger for me. Definitely.
Yeah. Right. That was really good.
It can actually, I could take a little bit more ginger because that's one of my foods.
Me too.
Like a little
Okay.
bit more of a
Love.
kick.
Okay,
Yeah,
when you
yes.
put in an
I like
order,
that
I got
little
you.
spicy. I like a little
I'll
spicy
dab y'all
kick.
We'll
up.
make that happen.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, right? So y'all being the chefs and y'all being the makers, the creators, what got y'all into making bean pies?
Mm. Yeah, I'll take that. So, bean pie is something that's really dear to me. Like culturally, I grew up eating bean pies as a member of the Nation of Islam, and my mom is a baker, so she always would bake pies, cookies, bread, you name it, she made it. So it's just something that's kind of like nostalgic for me. And during the pandemic, there weren't a lot of bakers. Like a lot of people went out of business. A lot of people moved out of the area. It was hard for us to find a decent bean pie that, was good. So Carlton was begging. He was like, "Can we make a bean pie?" Like he started YouTubing, watching these videos. They were making it with white sugar and the clumpy beans. There's even a recipe from Martha Stewart out there.
Martha Stewart.
There's a lot of
Bean
videos.
pie? Martha Stewart making bean pies?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
out
God.
there, yeah. So he was watching a lot of videos, and I was just getting tired of that. I was like, "Look, it's not that complicated. Like I have a bean pie recipe. We're not about to follow these recipes that you're finding online.
We about to go get granny recipes.
So this
Exactly.
is
Uh-huh.
The
y'all don't
archives.
talk about this in the nation, like how to make bean pies, or is it just it's low key?
I thought the brothers was. I thought that was one of their staple.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same
But
here.
not everybody makes it. Usually within the city, you have one or two bakers of the pie. It's definitely a trade. So not everybody makes a pie, and not everybody makes a pie that
they've
can
been
be shared with others.
misrepresenting y'all because it seemed like that was
Everybody
like a
make
thing.
bean pies.
Yeah,
Everybody
I thought
makes
pies.
maybe that's just
You know how you don't eat everybody's potato salad.
Oh,
man,
yes.
okay.
You don't eat
Everybody's
everybody's
bean pie.
because you can't.
Uh-huh.
You may have one, and people are so skeptical. People are so skeptical of it.
Yeah.
If you eat one bad one, it's like I'm done.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, people
I
think
had never heard of bean pie until I went to Spelman. Right, I went to
Nice.
college in Atlanta, and there was a temple there, or a church type, whatever, this place of but it wasn't. They didn't call it a mosque. It was the shrine of the Black Madonna or something like that. But anyway, it was. But it was
Carlton said,
anyway.
"What is that?"
Right, it was.
He said we're not affiliated with
Right.
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 No, they are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
right.
that was. I used to walk past there all the time. And that was the first, I'd never heard of bean pie in my life. I went to college in Atlanta when I was 16. And prior to that, I'd never heard of it. And so they were always like, bean pie? What's some bean pie? Every time I walked by, and I was on the way to the Marta, which is like their version of Bart for anybody who doesn't know. And finally one day I was like so hungry, and it just smelled really good, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try it. And I was like, what in the, how come I have been through my entire life living in the Bay Area and have never had this? It was so good. Now I love it, you know.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah,
It
but
is.
I've never had a vegan version, right?
Yeah, Brother Quasi blessed me a couple months ago. Yeah, with the bean pie. Man, I can put the thing down.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, that like little bite-sized version. It's pretty dope.
Bite-sized. I threw that thing back. I was, man, best bean pie I ever had.
Now let me, so you guys are talking about the bite size. Are they like this big?
We have a few different sizes.
Okay, because I bought some little ones recently, and I don't remember the brand, but I was out like at a deli or something like that, and they had some little round ones, and so now I'm wondering if those were yours. I don't know.
Papa's.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a brother by the name of Brother Wahi. He's like a mentor.
Oh, really?
He really is. So, and he has his pies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I only acknowledge baby bean pie personally.
Right.
That's a Papa, I guess.
It's okay. It's okay to shout out. It's okay to shout out.
It's all good. But speaking of which, right, like most people who are watching this and listening to this on rebroadcast, watching on ACH.show on Instagram live, but most people associate bean pie to the Nation of Islam, right? Like, how did that come to? I don't know anybody who eats bean pies outside of the nation, or even sells or offers bean pies. Like, even when you go to Popeyes, anything like that, right? How did that become synonymous with the nation?
Well, historically, the nation, we teach better eating. You know, we teach better lifestyle habits and spirituality as well. But going into that is eating, and especially with Black and brown people. Honestly, we eat the worst, right? So, there was a woman in Detroit. This started in the 30s.
In the 1930s?
In the 1930s.
Ooh, that's almost 100 years ago.
Yeah, I think her name was Martha Marion. And she made a bean pie. And she was from like the Caribbean. But she lived in Detroit. And of course was a member of the nation. And she substituted it the sweet potato pie.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And took the bean pie instead, and it became a hit. So
now, did she run out of sweet potato? Like, is the story that deep, or because that like beans in a pie? That's not something you just let me put beans in this pie.
Right. Well, the navy bean is a very staple of our diet. We really probably just about every day, or every other day.
Wow.
I don't think it's a week that goes by that I don't have navy beans.
There's many weeks I ain't had navy beans.
but she used it. She used it to substitute the sweet potato.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think to add to that, why she did not use a sweet potato, or why she was looking for a substitute, we were given by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad the navy bean as a substitute for it, because we don't eat certain vegetables, including sweet potatoes.
Really?
They're really hard on the digestive system.
Sweet potatoes?
I mean, it's
y'all messing me up.
Good. I mean, if you consider if you consider the culture of how we got on certain foods, traditional soul foods, it was us taking the scraps and making gold out of it.
Yeah.
So it's no knock or anything, but
Sweet
now they're no
potatoes?
longer.
Look, I used to like sweet potato fries.
I love sweet potato fries.
But I had
Come on.
For real?
Back up off of it.
So is this part of like the Dr. Sebi diet, or this is like the Nation of Islam diet?
This is how to eat to live, and there are some similarities with Dr. Sebi, and he did actually acknowledge the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as one of his influences.
Wow.
He used to be in the nation.
Yeah, that's oh my goodness.
Wow,
Okay,
that hurts my heart though, because I do love sweet. I like sweet potato fries. I like yams. I like all that.
So are yams better, or it's the same like as sweet potato?
We gotta get you on that carrot fluff.
Carrot what?
You won't even know the difference.
I hate carrots.
Fluff.
Oh, okay.
I hate carrots.
I
do.
You have to bring you
Wait, but are these? So I heard the carrots are real, so that's not true. carrots are real?
They're hybrid.
It's a real.
It's a
hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. Yeah.
I'll have to dig into that.
Oh man, y'all
Yeah.
confused.
I mean, I don't know.
That's
you
what
know,
I've heard.
Let's
too.
stay on the bean pies.
Right.
So-
Well, I mean, he said something about fluff. I'm like, okay, that sounds good, but then there's carrot is before that, and I don't know how I feel about all that.
It's all good. It's all good. So, what has y'all experience been like being in the Nation of Islam, right? Outside of bean pies, but like, what has that been like for y'all? Like, how long have you been involved? How did you get involved? What's your origin story?
Well, I'm actually third generation.
Oh wow!
My paternal grandmother is the original person who
Wow.
joined the Nation of Islam, and my father, and then my mother actually converted, and she's really the spark that's continued on through her family. So
Wow.
for me, I don't have too many experiences that are not tied into the Nation. It is definitely my foundation.
So you were born into it.
Absolutely,
Wow.
yes. So Carlton could probably give you a better,
The heathen
best of
point of
both
view.
worlds point of view.
You don't gotta go too deep.
I
I'm
don't
not-
know what you do.
I don't know about all that.
I'm not gonna get too deep. You know,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time. You know, I didn't fall from heaven. You know, and I actually wanted to join. I was 16.
Wow.
Okay.
And growing up in the South, you know,
Yeah.
my mother, may God rest her soul, she was like, "Oh no, we're not doing that,"
Right.
you know.
Right.
And she was like, she came back down the next morning. I'll never forget. She was having coffee in her room, and she was saying, you know, there's a lot of people that change their life. However, under my roof, this is what we're doing. So you can do that when I leave. And I yes, ma'am. Right.
Yeah.
So I tried to sneak because when you're under 18, you have to have
Parental permission.
parental permission
Oh
to be
wow.
a part of the nation, right?
Wow.
That's good to know.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the minister then he knew my mom, so I went around and got my dad to sign.
Minister Farrakhan?
Minister
Oh, the
Tracy,
local. Okay,
back
local
home in
minister. Okay.
Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
And I tried to get my dad to do it, and they was like, "No, man, like what your mom said."
Uh-huh.
You know,
He didn't want to go around her and,
Right,
and
yeah.
deal with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
and that was one of the things that won my mom over. You know, because it wasn't just about me joining; it was about
The
the
family
respect of
approval.
being a
Yeah.
young man.
Yes.
You know, like going to school.
Follow
Like,
certain guidelines.
yeah, like I remember, like one day I was skipping school one day, and one of the brothers said, "Man, what are you doing?" You know, and these are some of the things that won me over as a young man, because it was just like, man, they actually do care. And so, I moved out here from Richmond, Virginia, about 5 years ago. That's my story. I'm sticking with.
Yeah. Oh, that's powerful. That was a powerful story, right? So from there, I assume y'all met in the Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we met in 2018.
Wow.
And how long have you been married?
We've been married 2.5 years now.
Yep.
Wow.
2.5 years.
Oh, you got married during the pandemic.
Yeah,
The plan
it's a
is
spider.
So when did y'all decide y'all was going to be business partners? Yeah, how did that come about?
Okay, so we had humble beginnings when we first got married. We got married during the pandemic, right? And I was just grinding, and we lived in a small studio apartment at the point in time. And me and my background in being able to communicate to people in sales and understanding that my mother-in-law and my wife and my family now, they actually have something that we can sell.
Have a valuable product.
Right. They have a product.
What kind of sales, if you don't mind me asking, what were you doing prior? You don't have to mention the company, but like, was it direct, door to door? Was it?
So I used to help this man back home. It's called Assist Student Athletes. Because I ended up out here playing ball.
Okay.
But how he would raise money for his company was, like, he would have a booth and stand out in front of like a Safeway, similar like a grocery store back home.
Yeah, direct marketing.
Yeah, and you would ask for donations, and then we would do guerrilla marketing as well, just going door to door, right?
Okay.
And I always brought back the most sales.
Yeah.
You know.
Now I always find that interesting because that's my background in corporate America.
Wow.
Yeah, I did 10 years in corporate America, marketing, direct marketing, sales, tabling events, and all that kind of stuff. And now, since I have my own business, it's the most valuable thing I ever learned to do for myself. You know, like you said, once you have a valuable product that you can give back to the community. It's like sales, that's what the corporations run off, their sales team. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the people that they keep. Everybody else is expendable.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like. So we were just sitting down one day, and when she made the pie, it was so good, and I was just like, "This is good enough to sell." And I mean, literally, we used to have people like knocking on our door, calling me in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Can I come get a pie?
Yeah.
And we would be selling the pie like out of our house. That sounds so negative. Selling the pie, right?
It's real.
Pulling up to the studio.
I mean, one of the main reasons why we even moved out of there, of course, eventually it would have happened, but we dang near blew that oven out.
Wow.
Selling so many pies, man.
Wow.
Just out of there, and we kept making connections with people. I would see people, and it was like, God would place people in my life.
Oh yeah. Because you're working in your purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, yeah, I actually know somebody that has a commercial kitchen. And we got, ever since then, that's where we've been.
Yeah. Wow. All right. That's incredibly powerful, man. And what, just as a married couple and as business partners, how have you been able, if you've been able to find that balance, or is it still a work in progress? And when I say balance, people might not even know what that means. They've never been in business or in business with their spouse. But if you could just elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, balance is something that we're constantly bringing up in discussions, and I think that with any type of relationship, couples, work relationship, or friendship, anything like that, it's something that you have to constantly work on because your schedule may change. You may have a child, you may lose your job. So things are constantly changing that can affect your level of balance, but it's something that we try to be mindful of and have conversations. And there may be like periods where, okay, we turn the business phone off. Like we can't, we're not dealing with anything else today. No more calls, no more orders. We need to dedicate this time to just me and you, or just
setting those boundaries.
Exactly, absolutely.
Yeah.
And sticking with it and not, feeling bad about it or guilty, but knowing that you need to take that time for yourself as an individual and together as a couple so that you can bring your best self to all of those different situations.
Yeah. Yeah. Carlton, anything you want to add?
I think,
she summed it up, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna say
she just dropped the mic. I can't even follow that show.
For a minute, me being in business with my wife, I can definitely attest to that. Like, it can get tough. So what y'all are doing is really almost miraculous, because let alone marriage, there aren't a lot of systems that are designed to help people find ways to collaborate, right? Especially when you're married in business.
Yeah, because I also think that traditionally that hasn't really been a thing in this country. It was, the traditional way is that the man does the work and the woman does not, or makes the babies and stuff like that. And it's, people like Kwesi and his wife, the people are, especially in our community, I do think that collabing with your spouse is not an old thing. I think it's fairly new when you're in business with your spouse and also have like high expectations and really big goals and stuff like that. We have people like that on this show, once in a while, but I think that's not, hasn't historically been very common, and so it's kind of a new thing. It's kind of groundbreaking to be in business with your spouse and equal partners and stuff. That's a new thing, I think.
Absolutely. But it's becoming the new culture. It's shifting the culture, and we're really proud of y'all leading by example in that way, right? But along with this journey in business ownership, obviously y'all sell a product that, well, actually, you can speak this better than I can, right? Like, what is your market like for your product? Who is your market? Who are you looking to advertise to and to get your bean pods in the hands of? Like, who are your people?
Well, at first, because like I said, we started off in the studio. So that was everyone that I can directly put my hand on at first.
Oh, wow.
So like everybody in the mosque, right? Then it grew from, just word of mouth, just talking, like, where can I get a bean pod?
Yeah.
Oh, well, brother.
Because at the beginning of the show, you was like, just like potato salad, you just can't eat anybody's bean pie. How did the nation know that y'all had the real deal bean pies for sale? You know what I'm saying? With y'all giving like little samples out and saying, hey, brothers, we're gonna do a sampling after the mosque, and y'all can taste it. And if you want one, we have them for sale afterwards. Like, what was your marketing strategy for that?
I gave away as I killed what Tess used to get mad at.
Uh-huh.
I gave away so many pies.
Well,
But you knew you had something.
But I was so confident in it.
Yeah.
I just knew it got to the point where, and I'm really not an arrogant guy. I really am not. It got to the point where I was telling them, like, we got the best pie in the nation. Period. You know? It just got to the point.
Man.
And some people was
Do
like,
we have to have a pie cook-off in the nation?
A pie-off.
Yeah, you know,
that's a real thing.
That's a real thing?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I was
Sure,
just
people
wondering.
have bake-offs, yes.
Yeah.
And people was like, after they tasted it, and some people that we know from out of state, they were like,
y'all got some pie.
All right, I believe you now. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Well, and I bet you really had people not believing because of the non-animal products, or no lack of animal products.
Is that
Is
Is it normal for the bean pie to be vegan, or was that something that y'all do yourself?
It's a rarity. You may see a few vegan pies in LA. There's just so many bean pies in LA.
Yeah.
But to our knowledge, we're the only one in the Bay Area, and across the nation, there's not a lot that you can find. And we didn't start out with the vegan pie. We added that on a few months in, and it was out of demand. I actually didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Carlton convinced me to. He was like,
Demand from who?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Who put that demand on y'all?
Who started asking for the vegan?
Right.
Yeah.
Were people in the nation asking, or just people in the Bay Area?
The Bay, and then I saw the boy. I mean, literally, I worked a security job at the point in time. I just sat at the desk because this is during the pandemic. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the desk just googling all day,
Yeah,
emailing people all day long. And I'm like, yo, nobody got a vegan pie. We will sell out the order.
Yeah.
So I would call her, like I would sneak off and call her.
You don't work there no more, right?
No.
Thank God.
He's like, I'm not incriminating you.
Get your papers.
12:52 today.
But you saw there was no bean pies in the Bay Area. Vegan friendly.
Bean pies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No vegan pie.
Is it anywhere? Is it any? And you don't have to drop the name or anything. But like anywhere in the nation, anywhere you've seen that has vegan bean pie.
Atlanta.
Okay. It figures. It might as well be.
There's a couple in Atlanta, and they actually inspired me.
Oh wow. Oh okay.
Someone in LA, and I forget their name.
Now, have you tasted that couple in Atlanta's bean pie?
No.
Okay, you have. Okay, so you have. Well, because maybe that you know this. I know that, but I'm saying as they were building this idea of were you testing other vegan bean pies to see if it was any different? You know what I mean? To see, oh, well, this is okay, but ours will be better because we're going to do ABC.
You know, I've never tasted a vegan bean pie, but I was basing it off of our master recipe.
Okay.
So I don't want you to, have a preference or be like, yeah, I can tell this is the vegan one. I just want you to think.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is.
Yeah.
I haven't had the regular one. I've seen. I mean, both of them look incredible. That vegan one is like incredible. It doesn't taste vegan, but I mean, I don't think most people know bean pies aren't vegan.
I certainly did not. And so it sounds like your only competition as far as the flavor profile and stuff was yourself. Your only competition, you were kind of looking at your regular recipe and going off of that. And not something else you tasted one day and said, I think I can do this better.
Yeah, absolutely. For competition, I wouldn't say it's our only inspiration. Like I said, we've tasted so many bean pies.
Yeah.
But for competition, we're trying to focus inward.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's powerful. That's
Yes,
very powerful.
is.
And speaking of competition, do y'all have haters?
Oh, my goodness.
The haters
Yes. You don't got to call out by name. I mean, I got a pen and paper.
But you can. You can. No,
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
No, I think naturally. So I'm 25. My wife is 27.
Wow.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So
my goodness,
That was
you guys are so
amazing.
young.
So naturally, when you're young,
Wow.
when you're young and you're doing something and you're motivated and you actually like know what you want to do, of course you have just certain pushback, but it's like, you know,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You know,
So,
let's just keep moving.
He referred to it as certain pushback.
Certain pushback.
Not haters, but certain
Yeah,
pushback.
dignified man.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it sounds like the focus is on your own stuff and what you're creating. You're not thinking about what any certain pushback. so
That's a
because
waste
that's
of
not
time
where you
anyway.
can't. That's right. Because that's where you can't have your focus like that. If
Man,
you want to
you put your energy into that, that's what you're gonna attract at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Well,
Focus on what y'all doing.
believe it or not, y'all, we done hit our midway point of the show already.
Oh wow.
Already. Now
And we
we
having
got
too much fun in here
incredible.
today.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We have an incredible second half lined up. But you're listening to the Anything Can Happen show on KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland and streaming online at www.kgpc969.org. Definitely like, comment, follow, subscribe at ach.show on Instagram. That's at ach.show on Instagram. Stay tuned. We got an incredible halftime show lined up for y'all, or halftime artist, I should say. And an even more incredible second half of the show. So check out this artist. Talk to y'all soon.
Why you asking me that? You ain't got the answer, Sweat.
Wow, we got it.
The mic's on?
Yep.
Quick phone call today.
Yep. If anybody needs to take a bathroom break or anything like that, this is the
Yeah, I
time.
was just stretched out a little bit. Thank you for that, C-Moss.
Oh, yeah.
How much time do we have?
Said 3 minutes.
Yep.
We got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Man, this is dope.
Yeah.
Really, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thankful for this opportunity.
We were blessed to have this studio and Sister Felicia to look over us and allow us to build and help build up the brands in the back.
One of the things I miss as well is that I wanted
Right, exactly. And you guys rock music. Is it? Oh, that's so exciting. That is so exciting. I always have good slogans. I am so sleepy though. Are you tired? My husband told me today he's in LA.
Stop it.
A vacation on a radio show.
We got 40 seconds. We got 20.
Sure. 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
What? Girl, do that. Okay, I'm so excited. I couldn't believe it.
10.
Oh, yeah, okay. We got. Welcome back, y'all. This is the Anything Can Happen show, KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland.
Uh-oh.
My
We had a
bad.
little
Real life here.
extended break.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
guess
real
I'm
life.
getting the
Music
outtakes
break.
this time.
We got some outtakes on the
I'm getting
show.
the outtakes
That's
this
okay.
So, KGPC 96.9 FM Oakland, you listen to the Anything Can Happen show. Like, comment, follow, subscribe at ach.show. But we are in the building. We are in the studio with Baby Bean Pod co-founders and power couple Carlton and Zakia. We had an incredible first half of the show. We talked about their origin story, being part of the Nation of Islam, building their business from the ground up. And now we want to talk about vision. Right, we talked about where the business started, but let's talk about where it's going and the impact that you want to have in the food industry and around the world. So, who want to take that one on?
I'll go with that one.
Shay.
I'll start with where we want to, or what impact we want to have on the food industry. So I think early on we realized that we didn't want to just sell bean pies. There's been a lot of people over the years who have just sold bean pies, but we were trying to establish a business, something that we can leave for our children, our children's children. We want to be able to build a legacy with our company.
Okay.
And even more importantly than that, it's not so much pie as it is the bean that we want people to get.
The Navy bean?
The navy bean. The bean pie is a way, and it's become kind of popular. Like people are familiar with it. You see it on TV or in rap songs. So it's more familiar, and it's kind of our way to get into the door with you. But there's so many other uses for that bean than just making.
Where does that originate from, if you don't mind me asking? Like, why is that the one that the nation has chosen to be like, this is the source of nutrients?
So the navy bean was given to us by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his book, How to Eat to Live. Anybody should read it, get it. You don't have to be a member of the nation to read it. And the bean itself is very rich in fiber, very rich in protein. And you were talking about your minerals earlier with sea moss. Is very rich in several minerals that we need, such as our magnesium, potassium. It has B vitamins. It's really rich in iron. So there's a lot of health benefits to the bean, but it's also something that is safe and pretty much everybody can eat it, you know, regardless of your diet.
Do you sprout your beans? Like, do you let them sit and sprout them, or?
We don't sprout them, but we do soak them. So
Okay.
they do like a 24-hour
Get
soak.
the lectins out of it and everything.
Yeah, you ain't got to give all the secrets away, but that sounds nice.
Yeah.
24 hours soak. And I mean, both of y'all said great speakers. Who's like, is there an official spokesperson for your company or a face of the company, or is it just like y'all are equal face and equal front?
I'm much more social than my wife, naturally.
Like extroverted?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't like that word. You don't
Yeah,
like that
extra.
term.
Because I'll be honest, like I think people miss out on opportunities with it. Yeah, I'm an introvert.
Sometimes.
I think you can possibly miss out. Another subject, another time.
Yeah,
Right,
But-
right.
But however,
You're speaking over your life.
right.
Yeah.
However, we're both equal.
Yeah,
Like within the face.
I feel that.
I've gotten opportunities before, and I'm like, yeah, you know, my wife coming, right? And like, oh yeah, no problem. And I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
right,
If it's one of them things when it's like,
Yeah.
oh, just you, I'm
Divide
like,
and
I'm
conquer.
not
Right.
into that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Right.
that's real.
Mhm.
People will try it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
will try it. So I
Sure.
respect that, right? And just like a question that came to mind is misconceptions, right? So obviously y'all are in the nation and y'all make bean pies, right? It seems really cliche, but I can tell you something. They're good bean pies, right? But
Good.
what other?
I like put some respect on their name.
I wish I would've
Excellent.
brought some to the
That
studio.
bean pie
I'm feeding.
gets a stamp of approval from Cat Fitness.
Oh man,
Man, that thing-
Oh,
Man, I tell any of my clients, if they want something sweet, go get them a bean pie from y'all.
so I feel like now I'm the only person that hasn't actually experienced this deliciousness.
Yikes!
Man,
Yikes!
you're losing out on life
I
over
know,
there,
I need to
Kenya.
get
That's
my-
a disaster.
It's part of your self-care.
Oh, okay. Oh, they gonna
Thank
take
you.
care of you.
I will feel so loved.
There we
Yes,
go.
Thank you.
There you go. Just wrap the question, right? Like, what if any misconception or stereotypes are y'all looking to overcome through Baby Bean Pie, through what y'all are building the legacy that you're creating?
I would say, if I may, we've already and have already overcome something. Most people, honestly, right, when you think about like just Islam, period, you think about male dominance. I mean, that ain't happening.
Really?
You know,
Mhm.
yeah, like you know.
Oh, Islam, the religion.
Yeah, like
Oh,
just
okay.
as a whole,
Yeah.
right? You think about just male dominance, or if you see
Yeah.
a male and a female in business at times, the way society paints it is he's in charge,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's not. I mean, my wife from North Oakland, like that ain't going.
Yeah.
Right.
She seemed like she had tried at least a little bit.
Right.
You know, and but I'm just not into that. That's not what I'm taught. That's not how I was raised.
Yeah.
I have sisters. You know, my mother was a strong woman,
Yeah.
and my wife is a strong woman.
Yeah, good training.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just
And that's a stereotype that has to do with lots of religions, not
Yeah.
just Nation of Islam.
It happens in
That's
Christianity,
Christianity too. You know, come
For
on.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I know we was talking, off air a little bit about, your morning routine, right? And you kind of spoke a little bit about it, but what does y'all morning routine really look like? Because you was talking about, water, prayer, push-ups. Can you dive into that part of the nation and why it's so important to have that as a foundation every morning for y'all?
Me?
you know,
Okay. I think that the way that you started your morning is going to be the way that you carry that same energy throughout the rest of the day. It sets the tone for your day.
Yeah.
And with Islam, we're striving to pray throughout the day. We have it said it's 5 times a day, a minimum, right? That's our goal. But that first initial one, that really sets the tone for your entire day. It's the time when it's the most quiet. There's no disturbances. You can truly hear yourself speaking. You can also hear Allah speaking back to you. Allah just means God. And then with the other aspects, you talking about the water and the push-up. We don't eat breakfast. We try not to eat more than 1 time a day. So we have one solid meal.
Once a day?
1 time a day.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
time
So
a
y'all
day.
do like intermittent fasting. Essentially,
Yeah.
Well,
form
and
of it.
they call
Yeah.
that the OMAD.
They
too.
stole
one
it.
One
They
meal a
stole
day.
it.
Yeah, right. I was about to say.
Stole it. You heard it here first.
Stole it.
Yep.
Nobody was talking about that
That's
before
right.
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And me, my background is nutrition. That's actually what I went to school for. So I was constantly rolling my eyes when they come talking about their fast.
Oh, because you grew up in the nation.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
like, what
seen
y'all
it.
talking about? You didn't make this up.
No.
I've been doing that my whole life. Like,
Yep.
But yeah, we do strive to practice that. So you won't find us eating really early in the morning. You may have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. It's tea for me. And that's just a part of our day digestion.
Is it any particular time y'all have that meal, or is it a set time throughout the day?
Ideally, it's between 4 and 6. But
That you break your fast?
yes,
Mhm.
between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. But for us, our schedule is a little bit different, so it varies for us. But you want to try and eat at the exact same time each day. So that
Why?
means
Why?
24
What's the
hours.
importance for that time? If you don't mind me asking, why?
And how do you get all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon without?
I wouldn't
it's
drink
doable.
water.
It's
It's
definitely
doable.
doable.
Yeah.
You gotta just
I
stay
mean, it
hydrated.
might be doable.
So it's running 10 miles.
It takes practice like anything. You know, it's 21
It's a
days.
form of
to-
discipline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It does take
Sure.
discipline. You got to build yourself up to it. Like, you don't just jump from 3 meals to 1.
Right.
You ease
Right.
yourself up.
Yeah,
And
you allow your
nowadays-
stomach to shrink.
Absolutely.
And let me ask, because you a bulk. You got some weight on you. You got some height on you, right? Like you eat once a day.
Well,
Or
there are
it-
days
it-
And
that-
hitting a whole bunch of push-ups.
that I do yes, right? But
It's
for the,
slim.
but truth, I'm being
Okay,
real.
no, that's
you know?
real. That's
But
real.
for the most part, yeah.
Wow.
And what I do is, when we had the sea moss from the different, I'm gonna rock with you,
Okay.
right? So I'll do
I appreciate
like
that,
the
brother.
sea moss and water and coffee, and I'm becoming a man of pattern.
Wow.
So-
Yeah, routine.
So like sometimes when you get used to it, food is not like even on your mind.
No, it's a drug.
But when you get to 3:30,
Yeah.
you kind of you get
It's
to the
time.
point you're like,
Time
yo,
to
all
feel.
right,
Food time.
And so-
Time.
And so yeah, that's kind of like how I do it.
So
And
it
to
becomes
put
like-
on the muscle,
Yeah.
I usually work out twice a day.
Yeah.
Well, and how do you keep? So, can you break down that meal for me? So you eat from 4 to 6 every single day, right? Or at least that's the goal, right?
Mhm.
What does that meal consist of?
Navy beans.
Navy beans. I I like fish. So I'm gonna just
Okay.
give you my idea. Man.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
y'all aren't like meat. So y'all eat meat.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like. So I may do whiting. I'm a big fan of red snapper.
Okay. So like a fish and navy
Right.
beans,
Over some rice.
little rice,
Yeah,
white
my-
rice or brown rice or just
My wife
just
knows
rice.
I'm brown. If I come into the house with some white rice, I'm be on the couch.
Yeah. Or white rice.
Right.
Okay.
But,
Very good. Very good.
My wife, she browns it or she
Okay.
makes it yellow,
Yeah.
and then we may have like a nice salad.
Okay.
Or like some asparagus.
Wow.
Mhm.
And that'll fill you for 24 hours.
And then I'm either at times I may have a dessert,
A
or
slice of pie.
yeah,
Yeah.
or either
Or
I'll
whole
have
pie some days.
Oh shit! Y'all get busy.
Right.
or
Okay.
either I may have a shake, but
A protein shake.
yeah, I may have a protein shake, or sometimes if I don't want to do sweets, 'cause there's certain days I don't do sweets
Okay.
throughout the week.
Okay.
I may have a little sugar in my coffee. I may just have another cup of coffee.
Wow. Y'all extremely disciplined. I respect that.
Man, we striving to be, man.
Striving to be.
You
You know what
really-
what I find when I'm very disciplined with my nutrition, it frees up the energy to have a better spiritual connection.
Yeah.
You know, you're guided, you're not distracted, you're on task throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? And even when I cut out the meat in my diet, I felt another level of connection,
Oh yeah.
you know, with the Most High. And sometimes people don't understand that, like how nutrition and what you put into your gut plays such a big part
Oh yeah.
on how your spiritual connection ties into that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Like there's really something there. And I think that's something that our community has gotten away from. And that's one thing I truly respect about what the nation does and explains and teaches. And it's a beautiful thing because, like you said, not everybody's there, but you know, you strive to get there. You know,
Absolutely.
Well, and there's science behind that too. It's not simply you know, kind of how you feel spiritually and all this other stuff. There's science, of course. We talk a lot about gut health on this show.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So there's a science behind that when you've got, you know, stuff going on in your gut, and that can affect your emotional you know, life, and that can affect your mental health and all that other stuff. Your brain, it's all connected.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And just going back to Baby Bean Pie as a business, right? What does production look like for y'all? Like, do y'all have your own kitchen? Do you have a staff? Is it just you two? Like, how do you produce the amount of pies that go? And also, where are you vending? Like, are y'all in stores? Are you at like the little pop-ups? Like, what does that look like? So production and also distribution.
Online.
Yeah, as far as production, we operate out of a catering company called the Red Door Catering. Shout out
Oh,
Ray.
shout out Red Door.
Yeah, she's one of our
Wow.
mentors, and she's kind of taken us under her wing. So we operate out of her kitchen, and we're able to produce hundreds of pies
Yeah.
each week.
Woo.
We don't
Hundreds a
have a
week?
staff. We don't have staff right now. Right now, it's just usually it's me because Carlton does work.
Yeah.
Usually it's me in the kitchen, and then Carlton comes in to help.
Wow.
My mom will come in to help when we have really busy periods. So we're looking forward to having some staff so we can increase our
Absolutely.
production. I can take a
Speaking
break.
it to the
Yeah,
business.
right. No kidding.
Yeah, if
Wow.
y'all looking to
Yeah.
help out Baby Bean Pie,
Mhm.
shoot, let's talk about it.
Well, since you mentioned that you're kind of the primary person in the actual production of
Yeah.
the pies. Me, of course, being the self-care person here at the show, I want to know how you're able to, and the things that you do, any practices that you do. We know that you are committed to prayer. You know, what other things do you do for yourself to take care of yourself? Because you're hardworking.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I'm not perfect with it. But I try to schedule in time for myself, whether it's okay, I'm gonna do yoga today, or I'm gonna do my workout, or maybe one day I'm not doing anything today. That's usually I can find some time maybe on a Monday or a Tuesday
Just a
where
recovered day.
exactly, yeah, where I'm not gonna take any calls. I'm not gonna sit at the computer all day. I'm not gonna be baking today. But you actually have to schedule the time for yourself. Otherwise, for me, like I'll just keep going and going and going. I have to be like Carlton will tell me like, no, sit down. You need to take a break. You need to drink some water. Have you had water? So for me, I have to have those reminders or actually set aside that time for myself so that I can step away from work.
I like to laugh.
Yeah.
I enjoy. Probably shouldn't be watching it, but I sit down sometimes. I watch Bernie Mac.
You went all the way to P Valley.
Watching it. I didn't know.
Like I watch Bernie Mac. I like shows like that. I watch a lot of truthfully like sports documentaries.
I love sports
enjoy
documentaries.
those. I watch mob movies.
So very nice.
Yeah, so Godfather, Goodfellas.
Of course.
Yeah, because all work and no play, no relaxation, no entertainment is rough.
Balance.
But getting back to the work, I mean, as the finance guy, I got to ask you, right? Like, how does that work? But like, do y'all have an accountant or a CPA, or is it like, are y'all managing in house? Is that kind of secondary to the production and distribution? Like, how does that work from a financial in your business?
We're managing in house right now. That's definitely an aspect of the business that through coaching we're learning more of. Like right now we're going through Optima's program. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Optima Entrepreneur Cooperative, but we're learning a lot. Like we're taking classes. We went through ICA's program and they taught us a lot. So
I was about to say, I feel like from what I've heard about the nation, it seems like they talk a lot about, entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
that, do they have programs within the nation that helps out? Because I know like Brother Ben X talks about it, 19 Keys, they talk a lot about it. They have courses. I actually joined one of their courses, and it's a lot of great information. Is that standard, or is that standard practice that they have in the nation?
Well, we truly believe, and you may hear it all the time, do for self. Now, but what does that actually look like? Like sister's talking about, that's self-care. That's also striving to establish your own and as far as business and teaching others. And everybody's not going to do the same thing.
Exactly.
We chose, the more stereotypical route, bean pie food, right, for example. But it's something we're good at. Like this.
And that's what you got to commit to. What you're good at.
And that's what we decided to do. But there are like tons of brothers in the mosque that own businesses, barbershops.
Paving their own way.
Setting up their family. But we're coming together.
Exactly.
Like a network.
People
just lifting as we climb. That's incredible, right? So we got about 3 more minutes, and I got 3 more questions, but we should get through this pretty quickly, right? So I want to ask both of y'all, if both of y'all want to answer, feel free. Now that we're coming to a close, we've had an amazing conversation. I know people have learned a lot about the nation, about business, about being a power couple, and so many other things, right? But what do you want to leave the people with? Just maybe 1 or 2 gems before we get out of here today.
First and foremost, we're grateful to be here. We're thankful to be here. Secondly, do for self and follow your gift.
How do you recognize your gift?
I would say whatever you do, like drinking water, that's your gift. The Bible, the scripture says, your gift will make room for you, not your passion. I'm passionate about basketball, but I know I'm not going to. So I would say those are my, as question was saying.
I like that. The kid?
I gotta follow that. I would say take care of yourself, and 9 times out of 10, everything that you're looking for is within your circles, within your family, your friends, your loved ones. So just tap into that, collaborate, and make sure that you're striving to be great together.
Yes, Ashe. So, speaking of being great, let's talk about the next event where people can find some great baby bean pies. Where y'all gonna be?
Yeah. This Saturday we'll be at the Laurel Street Fair. It's the first one.
Oh wow!
21st annual Laurel Street Fair. Y'all gonna be out there?
Yeah, we're gonna be out there.
What time?
11 to 7.
The whole time?
We'll
Are y'all going?
So they sell out?
I'm not getting there until like later in the afternoon. So y'all.
Gotta see what we got.
Man.
She's like,
You know
you're
them
taking your
pies is flying off the
chances.
shelf.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Like hotcakes.
Yeah. We about to get a
They're
bunch
gonna
of
be
people over
gone.
there right now. Okay,
He's
fantastic.
gonna
And
be upset. He's gonna
I'm
get there like
mad.
5. You know,
Yeah,
like, we just sold out.
I'll be grateful
5
that y'all
o'clock.
sold out.
Now, where are you? Do you have a location that you're going to be at the fair?
Just near the other food vendors. I don't know
Okay.
which one yet.
Okay.
No, we'll
Okay,
find
we'll
you.
find you.
Sure,
Yeah,
we'll find you.
Sweet.
Right. But outside of that, oh, go ahead.
I was on Sunday. We'll be at the West Oakland Farmers Market.
The West
Okay.
Oakland. Okay, so Saturday and Sunday lined up. Y'all is
Yeah.
out here. Y'all out here. So Monday to Friday, where can we find Baby Bean Pie?
We do curbside pickup at the Red Door. That's the commercial kitchen. So at the Red Door on Adeline Street, Thursday through Saturday.
Thursday
Okay.
through Saturday.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Curbside
Outstanding. And
pickup.
last but not least, drop your socials. Where can the people find you?
At Baby Bean Pie, everything.
Yeah, at Baby Bean Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Bean Pie, everything.
All right.
Well, incredible. Thank you so much for tuning in to another incredible episode of the Anything Can Happen show. We had Carlton and Zakia, the amazing power couple co-founders of Baby Bean Pie. If you don't know, now you know. Thank you so much for tuning in every single Thursday, noon Pacific Standard Time on Instagram Live at ach.show. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. Share this. Stay tuned. We got more on the way. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Woo! That was good.
Okay.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I really
It went
did.
by quick.
That was, yes, it did. Yeah.
It did go by
We
quick.
didn't
It
even
really
have
did.
pictures.
No, they were going live the whole time. They were
Oh.
screenshots.
Yeah, but we take pictures.
Outside after, yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
mean like in the studio? I mean, Felicia can take.
We're gonna
a
get the
picture.
drop too, Felicia, and I'm gonna keep the mics high.
Run to the ladies, you know.
Okay, just real quick, y'all.
Right?
We're gonna-
Oh no, not like that.
They
We
we
got
got a
it.
drop for the show.
Okay.
Just that.
Just them. I was this.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there you are, Kat.
How many? A photo bomb. I take it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We do a drop for the show, so you guys can say what's a good drop for y'all. Does one of y'all want to do it, or both y'all want to do it?
What do you mean by a drop?
Just letting everybody know who's on today's episode. So it's like, hey, this is Carlton from Baby Bean Pie. You're tuned into the Anything Can Happen show, and today we're talking about how to get a slice of the pie.
I like
Boom.
that. Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. She'll let us know. She'll give us a countdown. You just write in the mic. And we'll be good
All
to
right,
go.
and I'm gonna record this. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Stay tuned.
I don't want to have my Mike Tyson moment.
Yeah,
They was trying to get Mike Tyson in the Providence career to record. You know his accent.
Oh
This
yeah.
is Mike Tyson. And he kept messing it up. He kept messing it up, and he threatened the reporter. He was like, "I'm not doing this." Somebody else.
Was Mike in the nation? Or he was just a supporter?
No, he wasn't.
He was a sympathizer.
I thought when he went to jail, that's when he
Yeah,
became
he
a
was
part
more like-
of the
like-
movement.
Like
Yeah.
Orthodox type.
Oh, like
I don't know what
traditional.
we would do with Mike, man.
Who